Hi, and welcome to Jules Voto's Photo Focus. In my last video, I spoke about getting into 35mm film photography for under $100. And I recommended 4 cameras: the Canon FT, Minolta SRT-101, the Nikkormat FTN, and the Pentax Spotmatic. So in that video, I talked about the cameras. In this video, I'm going to talk about the lenses for those cameras. And there are literally thousands of lenses available in the used market for these cameras. All 4 of these cameras were very popular in the 60s into the 70s. They were all updated in the early 70s. The reason I recommend these is, and there's nothing wrong with those other cameras, such as the Canon FTB or the Minolta SRT-102 or 201 or the Nikkormat FT2 or the FT3 or the Pentax Spotmatic 2 or the Spotmatic F. But these cameras you're going to find a little more reasonable in price. And again, there are just a ton of lenses available, as all these cameras were very popular. And you could get these lenses very inexpensively. So let's again start in alphabetical order with the Canon. You could easily find the Canon 50mm 1.8, either the FL or the FD version. FD version is newer. Both will work fine on the Canon FD. On the Canon FT. And I mean, you could get these lenses for $20, $25, $30. Now, you'll sometimes do better buying a camera with a lens, and a lot of times you will see them for sale with a 50mm lens. You could sometimes even do better buying the camera with several lenses. I remember getting one of these Minoltas, a 101, a SRT 101, with a couple, 2 or 3 lenses, and I think it was $70 if I remember right. So you can really get some good deals. So also for the Canon, you could find wide angles, FL wide angles, and I really like the way these lenses are made. I mean, all these lenses for all these cameras, the ones made up until the early 70s, were all metal construction. And this 28 3.5 Canon FL in beautiful condition, it was under $50. I think I paid $40, $45 for this. One of the things I really like about these Canon FL lenses, and this changed with the FDs, but the aperture ring is right at the front. It makes it easier, I think, to get to, especially with gloves on, because the aperture ring close to the body is sometimes a little hard to find, but I really like these lenses. Also, another one that I got very inexpensively, the 135-35. I think I paid $35 for this one. This is still aperture ring at the front, just a little bit. It does have a plastic focus ring, okay? But again, beautifully made, very inexpensive. So let's go on to the Minolta. And for the Minolta on this body, I have the MC Rokkor PF 55mm 1.7, all metal construction, again, beautifully made. I also have a 28-35 Minolta Rokkor, an MC Rokkor. Again, this lens was very inexpensive. I think I paid like $20, $25 for this lens. Now, I've seen them in mint condition for $50 or so. Another older normal lens for the Minolta is this Auto Rokkor 1.8, 55mm 1.8. I believe this lens dates from the early 60s, works fine on the SRT or with an adapter on mirrorless cameras. And in fact, all these lenses that I'm talking about today, in fact, almost every lens ever made for a 35mm SLR camera and even rangefinders can be adapted to most mirrorless cameras. Okay, so this one, I don't remember what I think this came along with a bundle with a couple of cameras and a few other lenses. But it's a decent lens, very sharp, and very inexpensive. It also has, I'm just looking at it, I think it has 8 aperture blades. You're going to find 135 3.5s for the Minolta, as you would for all these cameras. Very inexpensive, $35, $40. This is a 200 millimeter MD Rokkor X 200 f4. Now this lens dates from probably the mid-70s. It's multi-coated, but this lens I paid $60 for. So it's probably the lens I paid the most for of all the lenses here, I believe. But it's in absolutely beautiful condition, has a retractable shade, really nice lens. You know, rubberized focus ring. All right, now we come to the Nikkormat, Nikkormat FTN. The lens, the normal lens I have on this camera right now is the 50 millimeter 2.0. Again, an excellent lens, works really good with extension tubes or reversed for close-up photography. This is one of the original lenses that was introduced with the Nikon F in 1959. It continued in production until the 50 millimeter 1.8 came out, I guess around the time they went to AI. You're going to pay a little bit more for Nikon lenses. I think this lens was about $50, okay? But $50 for the lens, along with the body, which was $20, $25, and you're in under $100 easily, okay? Another lens that is very popular, easy to find, is the 28 millimeter 3.5 Nikkor. These are all these Nikkors here are pre-AI lenses. They will work fine on a mirrorless camera, okay? I think this lens was $40. There's also the 35-2.8. Sometimes that's a little bit more money, maybe $50, $60. Again, depending on condition. If you're going to get a mint lens, you're going to end up paying more. So what I advise you to do is really shop around. Look at a lot of listings. I bought almost everything here. In fact, I believe everything here on eBay. You got a great selection on eBay. Just be careful, read the listing carefully, look at the photos, ask questions, and shop around. You will find multiple listings on all these lenses. Another lens you can get inexpensively for the Nikkormat is the 135 3.5. Again, this is one of the original lenses that was introduced when the Nikon F came out, so they have been around a long time. This again is a pre-AI version. You could get these lenses inexpensively. I think I paid $30 for this one. I later bought another one in the original bubble with a box, the original box, and the lens hood for $40. Okay, so again, you can pick these up really inexpensively. Finally, for the Pentax Spotmatic, the Super Takumar lenses are just fantastic, very well made. This one is the least expensive of the ones that I own. It's a 55 millimeter 2.0. I got this lens, and this lens is in beautiful condition. I got this lens along with a Pentax H1A body for $30. Okay, so again, just shop around, look around on eBay, go to flea markets, look at your local camera shop if you have one, and house sales, and you'd be surprised what you could find sometimes. These, of course, are screw mount lenses. Again, they're really nicely made. And I also have here, which is I think the smallest SLR lens that I own, and it's the 35 millimeter 3.5 Super Takumar. The Takumars and the Nikkors seem to be a little bit more expensive than the Canon and Minolta lenses. But this one, I think I paid $40 for. But look how small this lens is. Now here is a 28 millimeter Nikkor. All right, this lens weighs a little over 5 ounces. Here, let's compare it even to the 50. I'm not going to take it off the body, but it is smaller than the 50 2.0. Very sharp. Again, this lens is in mint condition. And finally, for the for the Pentax is the 135 3.5 Super Takumar. Now here is Nikon's 135 and here is Pentax 135. Let's set them both to infinity just so we could compare the size. And lengthwise, the Nikkor is a little bit longer, a little taller. It's the diameter of the lens though, and these Takumars, all these Takumars here, the three that I have here, take 49 millimeter filters. The Nikkors take 52 millimeter filters. Of course, this is just a small fraction of what is available on the used market for these cameras. Again, you're going to pay more for the 1.4s or the 1.2s or the, like the 85s are expensive. But all these manufacturers have 100 or 105 millimeter lenses that you could get for under $100, 200s for well under $100. So you could probably, if you get a good deal, put together an outfit with one of these bodies and two, maybe even three lenses. So, a 28 or a 35 wide angle, a 50, and maybe a 135 for under $100 or just over $100. The thing you're going to spend the most money on when it comes to film photography is not the equipment necessarily, but film. Film has gotten to be very expensive. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have a question, please email me or leave a comment in the comments below and I will get back to you. So thanks for watching. I will talk to you next time.